Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the last game of the evening. It is Kelazhur versus Neeb. An exciting game, no doubt. Before we look at that, of course, we are near completion of day one. We can check in with the round 32 bracket. We've had 6 games so far today, and it's been a lot of fun here at the Winter Championship, live from Katowice in Poland. Getting better at my pronunciation. 2 games being played simultaneously right now. Currently on the other stream, we have Happy versus Hydra, and it is currently it's 0-0. It's the first map, sorry, Ben.
Soon going to be 1-0 for Hydra, though. He is
1-0 for
170
Hydra.
supply against 80 of Happy.
As you did see on the bracket as well, there are still games in the round of 32. Will not be played today, though. TLO and Isono will be tomorrow, and also the laser game will also be tomorrow. So we just have a couple of games, well, a couple of moments left to go here. Before we talk about that match at hand, Neeb had a video for us.
Never gone to an event in Poland, so I've never seen the Polish fans myself, but from the streams they look really good. They seem to always be excited and cheer on the players. In terms of skill, I don't think I'm an underdog, but in terms of experience, I'm definitely not as experienced as some other players, so my lack of experience might negatively affect my performance. I think I'm having a lot better results recently because I got a head start on everyone else. I started playing really early on in the beta, and then I played a ton back last year during the beta, so I feel like I was just ahead from the beginning. There are a lot of differences between Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Swarm. I think most of them are improvements, but the biggest difference, which is also an improvement, is that the game plays a lot faster. The action happens quicker, the games start up faster, and the games are decided faster, and I like that. I think my main goal is to advance at least 1 round, because that means I get $6,000 instead of nothing, which is what the players who leave in the round of 32 get. But on a side note, I'd really like to play in front of the Polish crowd, which would require me to make it to the round of 4, so that's like kind of my side goals, to get at least to the round of 4.
An exciting moment for US StarCraft fans, as over the years we've had the players who are hyped up. You've had your mages who have been hyped up, you've had your Serals that have been hyped up, you've had your In-Controls that have been hyped up. But finally the attention and the hype is around this guy right now. He's performing well on the ladder. All the players at this event are saying that this is the best Protoss player in the tournament, and now we get to see what he has. It's an exciting moment.
I think hype is a good word, because his results and his performance so far has been mostly online, and for StarCraft this dates all the way back to Brood War.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean nearly as much. I mean, he did go to DreamHack, he did do fairly well there, and online he has beaten, you know, Hydra, Violet, like some of the best players, absolutely. But this is where it's really made. He needs to get past a player like Kelazhur. It needs to look good, because to live up to that hype, it means not just win, but win convincingly, and then go deep.
I mean, to go off those online results, I mean, when it comes to the ladder qualification for this event, in the actual tournament that was run, he finished 1st place. With the tournament that happened after the ladder, he won it. He took down big names, all the big Korean names that play in America. This guy seems to have what it takes, Ben. I mean, he's also on the European ladder too, making a mess of it as well.
Yeah, in one of the qualifiers he actually beat Hydra and Polt 3-2, 3-2. So he went the long run, but he did it pretty convincingly actually. In one of the final games against Polt, Polt did a cheeky 2-base Liberator attack and just had nothing on him. But one thing that you cannot do in this matchup is count out Kelazhur.
Yeah.
Like, he just went through a group as well where he absolutely trashed Scarlet, then also beat Polt to qualify. I believe that was in the Ting tournament.
But everyone's beating Polt these days.
Everyone's owning that guy, you know.
Let's be honest.
This is kind of an exciting moment because as much as there is a lot of hype around Neeb, there's also a lot of hype around Kelazhur in recent times too. This guy's, been, improving and improving and improving. He's coming to this event. I don't think we can count him out, as the Muslim says, either.
Yeah, no, I've actually had the pleasure to cast a bit of Kelazhur recently. Like, he was in a few of our Oceanic tournaments and did very, very well against big name players in the internationals.
Him and King Kong, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught that one. No, you got me. You got me. That's pretty funny.
I still got it, guys.
Yeah, you should be at every one of these events.
I agree.
He is.
I
pretty much am.
Yeah,
Sadly.
Yeah. Sadly.
I keep showing up. They just
they just let you win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I've seen a lot of Kelazhur, and he is incredible. And he kind of is like an American Daishi for me. Like, he will be in a lot of tournaments, fly under a lot of people's radar, but still make that sort of top 8 and beyond in a lot of the online tournaments. And yeah, I mean, the same deal with Neeb, same deal for Kelazhur. He needs to turn that into an offline performance and really turn heads and get some fans here today.
All right, well, we are pushed with schedule and timings here, so I'm going to get you guys to go towards predictions and final thoughts if you want to. The Muslim, you can start us off.
Oh, I'm going to go straight to predictions. I think Neeb's going to take it 3-1.
Okay, Maynard, up to you.
I'll say Neeb 3-2.
wow.
Okay,
Close.
and Boss.
Solid 3-0, I believe.
Wow.
A punctual defeat. I do agree, though, Kelazhur is very good, but I'm buying into the hype, and of course I'm mega biased towards any American that's giving us a glimmer of hope that they can do well.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's time to go to your caster team, and what caster team could we offer you? It is, of course, Rotterdam and Nathanius, number 1 and number 2.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much, boys. And well, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. My chance to go full America.
The way that I see this, Nate, is I see this as esports history in the making, because after years of casting with you, it's more than 2 years by now, I think this is the very first time where the Terran of us Archon casting duo is going to be cheering for the Protoss, while the Protoss is probably going to be cheering for the Terran over here. Nate, what's happening to us?
I honestly, I wish I had a U.S. flag shirt so I could just rip this open right now. And then,
I wish I had a bald eagle to put on your shoulder. That would be beautiful.
Well, then the next part would have been I rip open my shirt to reveal the American flag, and then I rip that open and reveal the bald eagle tattoo. But I didn't think that far ahead. So we are loaded in. Okay, well, we're getting right into it. I'm very, 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 very excited for this match, of course. We're loaded into Orbital Shipyard for the first game of our last best of 5 of the day. In the top right, the red Protoss player representing the United States of America. He is Neeb.
Awesome guy, and I can definitely understand all the hype, Nate. I've been following him for a while already as well. He's a player that's been around for a long time, of course, once upon a time. He played this race, the race of his opponent, spawning on the south side of the map. He too has been around for a while, a little bit more experience. It's Kelazhur, rapping root for root. You gotta love Diego, man. That's of course Kelazhur's real name. I think he's a super nice guy.
He's awesome.
He has a great attitude about the game, and he just seems one of these guys that is always willing to put in the work, works hard, and he believes. And he's a great player. You can really see a guy that went from a decent player, or like even from a Master League ladder player to a Grandmaster League ladder player, to a guy that's almost good enough to duke it out with the top of America, to a guy that's here right now, makes it to Poland, has been to a couple of big events already, like the DreamHack, the Into Extreme Masters.
For me, it's the tragic part that in any normal circumstances, I would be heavily cheering for Kelazhur over anyone else, but he's running into Neeb, and
Neeb is like your favorite player in the world right now.
Yeah, he's someone that I have been more than happy to follow, and he's been on that up and coming for quite some time. I think the first real time we got to see him kind of do something interesting was, I think, WCS America in 2014, early 2014. He beat Polt in a TvT series, and
that was the first event we casted together, Nate.
Yeah, that was it was. Oh
that,
boy.
That game on Habitation Station, I still remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember it because of the game, but because it was my first moment with you, Nate.
That was magical. I mean, sometimes those end up on the ESL stream reruns, and I see how bad my hair was before I started going to the gym, and I'm just like, God, it's a good thing that things change, Roddy.
Good thing that Roddy came into your life and showed you the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, Neeb did switch to Protoss after that, so it's a bit harder for me to root for him. But I'm glad to have an American out here, man.
I mean, Neeb actually, like my memory of Neeb goes back pretty far, even to the NESL days where Neeb would always run into Drunken Boy back then. Like those two players would just keep running into each other over and over again.
The funny thing is that Drunken Boy's actually had like some surprisingly good results in these qualifiers, and he's just been like, yeah, you know, I play a lot, but it's not my main focus. And like, it's like Rex Hug, Rex these other guys. It's good.
Alright, there's going to be a Stargate over here for Neeb. Of course, the openings were relatively standard, guys. A 1-gate fast expand, you know, a Reaper into a fast expand. He did follow up with a second Rex, so he's a little bit safer. And now he also has the factory done. But nothing too surprising here. Or would you say the Stargate is a tiny bit surprising because maybe you were hoping for some more Prism action?
Nah, I mean, Neeb's done a little bit of everything. I still think that at the highest level, the Stargate openings of some variety are still the best because they shut down pretty much every form of aggression that you could throw at a Protoss as Terran. You know, if you get Phoenix out, you can lift up Widow Mines. Obviously, Oracle lets you put pressure, but Phoenix will also deal with fast Liberators. Although, I will say, you know, against the Stargate opening, this is kind of like a Pultesk build here out of Kelazhur with this really quick stim. So I actually like this opening quite a bit for the Terran player.
Good scout over here for Kelazhur as well. He's going to identify that there is indeed a Stargate over here. He's going to throw the grenade. The good old, like, I almost got your grenade, and well, at least I delayed some mining time, but obviously that grenade couldn't really do much. But that Reaper was going to die anyway, so that doesn't really make a difference. I do want to highlight, though, like, I agree with everybody that Neeb is the favorite here, especially if I have to listen to the European pro gamers. They all speak very highly of Neeb, and guys, this is something that's very uncommon, to say the least. Like, a European pro gamer speaking highly of an American Protoss. Like, I can't remember the last time that happened. It must have been when Hawk was in his prime or something. Like, the Europeans are in general very, very critical of the American players. So I'm feeling the hype. I know he's very good. But I also want to give some hype to Kelazhur, man. He's really been improving his play. He's been making waves. I really feel that Kelazhur is maybe playing the best StarCraft he's ever done. And I do think that Diego is going to put up a very, very, very good fight over here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a series where I think obviously a lot of people are talking about Neeb, but Kelazhur has what it takes to win a match like this. But I mean, just looking at some of the players that Neeb's gone through in the last like 3 weeks, Pult twice, Kelazhur as well.
Yeah, he beat him recently. When I say recently, I mean like last week in the North American Ladder Heroes.
The last like 7 days.
Yeah, he beat him 3-0. But if I'm Kelazhur and I play a North American Ladder Heroes tournament, like if there's nothing else going on, awesome, I'm gonna go all out. If I know I play this guy within 5 days, but there's 6 grand on the line, holding back is maybe not the right word, but I wouldn't show the back of my tongue, so to speak. You know, you're definitely holding a couple of builds up your sleeve.
Yeah, and I mean already, you know, Neeb is definitely known heavily for, and in most of those games that I was able to see, there was still a lot of, as you mentioned, the fast warp prism. Those disruptor plays were huge. Actually, some of the sickest shots, actually.
Did he get? Yeah, he connected with it. Well done, Kelazhur. He did what I always tell Terran players to do.
Yeah, just put it somewhere where it doesn't make any sense to have a Widow Mine.
It's so true, guys. Like, don't go for the fancy Widow Mines anymore behind the refinery or like below an SCV. Protoss players got too good. They know that is an option. You put it just somewhere on the map, and that's when Protoss players just kind of click their Oracle to the other side of the map. They'll look at home.
I'll send it just away from where it normally would be, and then they die.
Yep, and then you fly over a mine. That's an awesome pickup, man. Kelazhur didn't really take any damage at all. Snipes the hallucinated Phoenix as well. May not seem like a big deal, but he's keeping Neeb in the dark, and that's pretty damn awesome.
You know, big things that you really be concerned about right now if you're Neeb, third command center, right? This is a super aggressive setup that Kelazhur is going for. It's very important that Neeb's adding these gateways because as much as he may be thinking about getting aggressive, he's actually the one that's going to be defending really soon against a Marine tank push.
This is very similar to what I saw earlier today between Masa and Harstam, and Harstam was able to murder this push from Masa on this map in particular. But of course, you know, Neeb opened up with the Stargate. Neeb has a lot of free supply, by the way, and obviously nobody wants to be supply blocked, but 94 or 86 out of 141.
Yeah, I mean, he's ready to warp in a lot of units, but maybe a bit too far in advance, trying to get full pylon coverage, I guess.
I think it's safe to say that this game will come down to one very, very big push. Kelazhur is ready to march across the map. His +1 is on the way.
This reminds me of watching Koma's games in the qualifier, where he actually was, if I recall correctly, able to take some maps off of Neeb. So this, and maybe if he studied the games where he's lost to Terran recently, then he knows this is a strong style to use against him.
Like, the Warp Prism is cute in a way that, like, it's very likely the Warp Prism will do a lot of damage, but he has to make sure that he doesn't warp too many units to the other side of the map.
If he like warps in a full round of Adepts there, I mean, look at where his army is actually really bad position-wise. He has to get back into his third.
Let's take a look at the army supply real quick. Blink only halfway done. Oh my god, this is going to be rough,
He
man.
has +1 attack and Resonating Glaive, so if you can get the Adepts onto the Marines, they can do a lot of damage.
What I think is very important here is that if you're Kelazhur, don't go too slow. Just kind of shove it in, man. Like every second that goes by is a very good second for Neeb. He's got a lot of gateways. He wants to have Blink done as well. He wants +1 armor. You cannot waste too much time. Move those tanks forward and go for it. This is the moment that Kelazhur has been building up for
he's bringing
this entire game.
He's bringing the Warp Prism back too to try to help get that extra tool to help push against this. The Adept Shades are going to be pushed forward. I mean, the idea, I guess, is you want to get right on top of those Marines, and basically loses the Warp Prism, hitting over to the siege tanks, and the Marines are managing to take out a large part of this army as well.
Kelazhur is going to take game number 1, I think, Nate. He's still got plenty of Marines left over here. Blink is finally ready, but all of the Adepts have died. Plenty of Medevacs alive, and Kelazhur is sniping that Prism with 4 Adepts in it.
The same 2-base push that Kalma successfully used against him on this map in the qualifier for WCS. Really nice play.
What a solid opening over here for this best of 5 of Kelazhur. Obviously what you're hoping for when you go for a 2-base all-in, and just felt like everything went right for him. There are plenty of Adepts over here, but he has nothing to kill those Medevacs, and if you can't kill the Medevacs anymore or the Liberators, these Marines, they will just not die. I've been in this position, Nate.
Yeah, and this next wave of forces is coming out. His reinforcements were highly delayed by that push, but as he comes out, a little...
Like, what are you waiting for? It's over, mate. Get out of my game.
Kelazhur wouldn't be
I know.
That's pretty cheeky.
Maybe there was a lag spike or somebody lagged. I was looking at you actually, not at the game, but...
looking at me.
Sorry, Ned, can't take my eyes off you. Or maybe it's the fact that he didn't raise his depots and that he had his entire army.
Oh yeah, he's probably like, why is my whole entire army back in my base?
But at the same time, I feel that's not something you should write ... for, because that's not something that Neeb could possibly know. Either way, the reinforcements have arrived, and whenever I heard that in the red alert, I got very excited, because that's when I knew I was going to win the battle, and I think that's going to happen over here for Kelazhur as well. With Liberators and Marines, Nate, this one is all over but the crying.
Yep, third command center is on the way as well, so Kelazhur has his follow-up prepared, and just this setup, too powerful. Very well hit timing. GG, Kelazhur takes game numero 1.
he's like, ooh. Yeah, I think it's the reinforcements, right?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I thought he did that because the Warp Prism was out on the map. So, because the first shot that we saw of the Warp Prism was the Adepts were unloaded outside the third base, and a bunch of dead Marines were there. So I figured, okay, Kelazhur probably just rallied inside his base to make sure that like Warp Prism wouldn't hit him, and then he like used the select army hawk. He's like, "Where's the rest of my Marines?" And they're all at like 35 health. He's like, why did I stim these?
Yeah. At the same time, though, I feel if you're setting up for a 2-base all-in, and that's pretty much what this is. Like, yes, he was building an additional command center eventually, but if that push would have just got destroyed,
it's a 2-base all-in.
Yeah, he's in a world of trouble. Like, he's going to be extremely outmined. He's going to be out-upgraded. He will have 0 map presence, 0 map control. So it really all comes down to that one push. And I didn't mind Neeb bringing the Warp Prism back. I actually thought it was a good move, because I think you dropped the 4
Losing
Adepts.
it wasn't as good, but
with precious cargo as well. I mean, 4 Adepts. Like, the fight was pretty close. Imagine if he has 4 Adepts behind the army, warps in a few more, and he engages from both sides. I think there is a good chance that battle plays out differently.
A little bit more of like a little bit of a pincer push, I think, could have done a lot of damage. So, but when the Warp Prism went down with the Adepts inside of it, that's where like things just went apart so fast.
What I do love, though, and this is kind of what I was hammering on before the push started, don't second guess yourself. You know, don't slow down. Be decisive. Like, this is your push. Don't give him extra time. Often I see Terrans like leapfrog with their tank. Oh, I got 1 tank hit off. I got another tank hit off. And Protoss players are like, oh yeah, please, that's another warping, you know. All right, 10 more seconds, that's another warping. And suddenly you fight against 12 additional gateway units. And that just makes it a complete different fight.
That third base just scales so nicely because those minerals go straight into your Adepts, and those are what you need to clean up. I mean, it was a pure Marine push. It's not like it came down to, oh, we had a lot of Marauders. And it's scary because it calls into question as well. There were a good number of Stalkers, but with the Liberator follow-up, like, it's hard to be certain how to perfectly balance out your warp-ins of which gateway units you want to go for.
I just love the killer instinct, man, and that's what this man is going to need in this best of 5 if he want to go for perhaps the biggest upset in the entire round of 32, taking out one of the most hyped players in this tournament. He's, of course, representing Root Gaming. It is Kelazhur.
Yeah.
very first tournament I ever saw him was the Intel Extreme Masters in 2013, Sao Paulo. Back then he was just a local player in Brazil.
Yeah, you've told me this story. That was where he came up to you and he was like, "You're that guy I wreck on ladder every
Yes,
game," or something.
he actually introduced himself like, "Hello, Rotterdam. You don't know me, but I'm 7-0 against you on ladder." I was like, "Wow, it's a pleasure, mate." You know.
Yeah, cheeky. His opponent in the bottom right, the blue Protoss player from the United States of America, he is Neeb.
Looks like he's talking to himself.
Nah, he's mouthing his music, man. If there's one thing I've learned about StarCraft players and the music they listen to, he's got some crazy pop going. He's probably got some Carly Rae Jepsen going in there.
Call me maybe.
Yeah. So
Like,
warping maybe.
I've got a prism, so warping maybe. Don't fly into the mind.
Yeah. Hey, I can see it. There's a good way to twist those lyrics. Kelazhur, we've seen this a little bit. You know, the more cheeky plays on this map, it is a 2 racks, probably going to be some form of Reapers here, but,
Ghost?
Okay. Oh.
No, second tracks.
I mean,
no second
he
gas.
took the gas, which is why I'm confused. He proxies 1 racks, has gas, doesn't build a Reaper. So maybe he builds a reactor at home and then builds a tech lab out on the map and then does something else. I don't actually know what this is.
We'll see. Could also be...
I mean, it's very easy to just proxy the factory, but why would you proxy 1 barracks and then a factory at that barracks?
It could just be a 1 base all-in where he opens up with a couple of Reapers.
Okay, so Tech Lab is Marauders. He's going to build the Marauders out on the
No,
map.
it's Ghost. It's
Oh!
Ghost. Yeah, it is a Ghost.
So he builds 1 barracks at home just to sell him that I'm not cheesing
I like it. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
brilliant.
because the 3 depots would have gave it away completely. Like
yeah,
if you scout
don't
3
have
depots.
the barracks, then immediately Neeb's worried about it. So it is going to be a little Ghost cheese.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times. Of course, DreamHack Leipzig, Thermal did it, and that's when the world suddenly got familiar with the Ghost Rush.
A lot of Protoss players are very salty, man.
Yeah, because Oracle detection is just awful. That's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other way around it. Like, Oracle detection is not real detection. It's like, yeah, you can tag 1 ghost, but then 2 more ghosts will kill every single probe you have.
It's like detection on loan, you know, man. And those interest rates,
A small loan of 1 detection.
not enough energy.
Yeah. Either way, the robotics facility, that's a much better loan, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's plenty of detection for you.
There's a high yield of detection out of the observer. It covers a much greater span of time.
Yep. So this is actually looking very, very good for Neeb if he gets an observer out. Obviously, you'll lose a couple of probes here and there, but if it's 2 base against 1 base, you know, you defend, you build up an army. You can even counter immediately with a prism.
He supply blocked out of that next ghost, though.
It will all come down to will the observer be in place, but I have the feeling that Neeb kind of knows what he's up against.
I mean, I think Neeb checks this gold and he's like, look, you're still on 1 base.
Yeah.
What could you really be doing?
That has not hit me yet, you know? And why are your Marines still at home?
The only thing that, so the fast observer, I mean, having 1 observer at home, I think, kind of like puts this to, you know.
I can see this being a double observer opening, 1 observer across the map, 1 observer at home.
I think in this scenario, you have to consider what people do on this map, and oftentimes it's going to be, you know, some sort of weird Widow Mine play or ghosts.
What is very important is that Kelazhur saves up a little bit of energy so that even if the observer is at home, that we do see the second observer on the way, by the way.
Scan and kill the ops.
Yep, he needs to scan and kill the ops and then just hope that he somehow kills 14. Did he see it?
I don't think he knows. Oh,
no, he's going to see it now. He brings it back. He needs to throw down a scan and he needs to try. Oh, photon overcharge.
Well, you know
as
what? The nice thing about this is if he scans right now and gets 1 obs, as long as the second one shows up in time, he should still be okay. Yeah, there's the scan, and boom goes the observer. He's keeping the second observer out of range as much as he possibly can, too. So he does have another ghost that's about to run into the natural, so he needs to clean these 2 up real quick.
I mean, he's going to do it, Nate. Like, that he's going to lose a couple of probes is inevitable, but at the end of the day, this is an extremely good situation for Neeb.
It's a pretty heavy commitment to this, and there goes next observer.
Does he have another one?
Yeah, he's got another one.
Another one!
It's like 1 observer down and another one. Well, GG, Neeb. He swats it down. I mean, this is one of those cases where if he goes for that Stargate opening, and as you said, the Oracle drops or like a Revelation, only hits 1 ghost or something like that, then, you know, life just gets really, really difficult for you. But, yeah, you open Robo and you're like, yeah, okay, well, I didn't die, so.
So why do you think that Kelazhur went for this build on this map? Is he worried about like the double gold mass mineral?
I think that these maps, the gold base especially, like for Terran, build orders are just so reliant on getting add-ons. Like you don't just drop like a bunch of you don't just drop like 8 racks without gas. You know, you have to wait for stim for your mineral-based units to be good. So I generally think that this is like gold-based maps are where you should do these sorts of builds because you just Terran production just doesn't scale as well off gold minerals as you know, the other races. Not like as far as a balance thing, but you want reactors, you want tech labs, and gold minerals don't really help you with that. So, and you need like stim, for example.
All right, so this is basically turning into a best of 3 right now. You know,
Yeah.
there's a one to all. Skip the first 2 maps. We'll forget about it. Do you know what the next map is? I feel like it's going to be pretty crucial.
I have literally no idea.
I think the next game is going to be the first real game. Well, I mean, obviously all games are real, but I think the first real macro game.
You see, you say that, and then it's going to be on Arena, and it's going to be Gas first, Cyclone versus Tempest Rush.
All right, well, we'll see. But either way, like if it's not Arena, I definitely think it's going to be a very macro-oriented game.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like play it out a little bit. I think it's Dusk Towers, which would be perfect. Like that should be a map where Kelazhur will go up to 3 command centers relatively quickly.
So we do have a bit of an update for you guys. I've just been informed by the glorious Sean Apollo Clark that Happy vs Hydra is tied 1-1.
Wow.
And they're going into map 3.
Yeah. First game didn't look all that pretty for Happy, but apparently he's turning it around a little bit.
Man. Yeah, that game, the first game Happy played against Hydra was going reasonably well until the Ultras popped out, so maybe it transitioned a little bit faster in game 2.
That also happens whenever I play Terran, Nate, and I don't play Terran very often.
That's every game, man. It's like, oh, so even supply, everything's looking good, then 6 Ultras pop, and it's like, well,
I'm not a man of a whole lot of alligiggles, as you would say it, but when I saw my Marines try to kill Ultras, I had an alligiggle.
We are loaded into map number 3, as you said, Dusk Towers. Hopefully you get a nice, good, long game out of this one. In the top right, we have the red Terran player representing Root Gaming. He is Kelazhur.
And of course, over here in the left bottom side of Dusk Towers, we are going to take a look at the beautiful blue base of this Protoss player. He's representing the United States of America. It is Neeb. You know, if you used to play Terran and then you became a Zerg, they call you like the infested Terran, right?
Yeah.
So what would you be if you switch from Terran to
you're
Protoss?
just mind controlled. This is the Dark Archon got you. Of course, lore-wise, it's tricky because there's technically no Dark Archons in StarCraft 2. But, oh well.
That reminds me of Yuri's Revenge. Why don't you serve a Yuri? You never played that one?
I don't know what that game is.
You don't need it, man, Nate. Maybe you're too young. Maybe I'm too old.
I did just turn 23. I don't know. I missed out on a lot of those old memes.
That would have been your time to shine. Hey, it's a gasless fast expand over here by Kelazhur. This could be a triple command center opening, by the way, right?
I don't think Neeb is cheesy enough to have to worry about that. I think this is actually pretty smart because the thing is, he's opened with this depot block, which is, you know, in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, more so in Wings of Liberty, you did this so that the Protoss wasn't sure if you were going for fast gas, and now Neeb can't be sure because he's already seen so much aggression out of Kelazhur.
Do you think triple CC is a realistic option over here for Kelazhur?
Yeah, actually. I think especially against Neeb. The biggest thing that you're worried about is going to definitely be like robo-based play on this map. So the only reason why I would say 3cc is maybe pushing it. I wouldn't mind if he just goes into double gas now, but 3cc is really pushing it because you're going to have a very low number of Marines to work with to actually stop that. So this is a big risk. If he's facing a double observer opening, I think he's fine. If it's a fast prism of any kind, then you might be sour about life.
You know, of course, because Neeb just scouted a full wall of, right? And sometimes you're a little bit worried about maybe a proxy factory, because this is also a map where sometimes they proxy a factory, they drop some Wither mines, and then they followed up with like a super quick 1-1-1, you know, with like 2 mines, a Liberator, and a tank. You have to worry about that a tiny bit. And if Neeb does not scout this immediately, the economy of Kelazhur is going to be off the charts.
Yeah. I mean, you had guys just going for this in like super YOLO style for the longest time. And 3cc builds have fallen off extremely hard in Legacy of the Void, simply because if you open like this in TvT, you'll die to fast tank. If you open this against Zerg, Roach, like Ravagers kill you, like just a bunker or 2 doesn't do it. And then you try to do this against Protoss, and War Prism Adept just straight wrecked you. I actually think the Stargate opening is the best scenario here for Kelazhur, because as long as he realizes what's going on, he'll have enough Marines to cover just the mineral lines. He doesn't need to spread them out to cover for a Prism.
And of course, as soon as Neeb scouts what he's actually up against, he's going to drop that additional Nexus immediately, and he's going to try to catch up. He will also realize that he's got wow, that's very defensive, Nate. 2 extra gates after the Stargate before the Nexus is going down. This is all good news for the Terran player of Root Gaming.
Yeah, this is actually a really great start on this map for Kelazhur. So he's going to get the macro game that he's looking for.
But it's kind of an unfair macro game.
Yeah,
like, yes, like
I mean, that's the thing, though. The thing is, Neeb is not known for one base play, or even, you know, two base all-ins to say the least. Like, he's known for, he'll do that War Prism play with the Disruptors, but he'll do it while taking a third base. So, you know, he'll open Stargate, but he's not going to two base, or he's definitely not going to one base all-in you. You know, you're not going to see the build Haas pulled today out of Neeb. And Kelazhur's basically saying, okay, well, this is something that I can abuse on a map like this, because if he even was going to try, he has a long rush distance to go to be able to do that.
Well, 4 minutes and 10 seconds and his Nexus will be thrown down. He's going to follow up with a Phoenix this time. So Neeb does have to be a little bit careful, because if this Oracle does not kill anything and he follows it up with Phoenixes, there's a chance he faces way more Marines at the first push than he would normally face. And Phoenix is obviously not amazing against Marines. Like, sometimes, you know, some Protoss players are just gods with it and they always find openings. They pick up a couple of Marines. The Oracle is going to spot it, and now Neeb knows exactly what he was playing against. He knows he has a little bit of freedom, but he also knows, oh no, he's going to lose the Oracle. Wow.
Sour about that. That's a big loss at the start here. I mean, those Oracles have such longevity. He's going to immediately crank out another one.
I kind of feel like stasis and stuff is very useful against the first Marine push.
You don't want to have to build an Oracle just to get that out there. You know, keeping the first one alive is so crucial.
And also, let's not forget that with the build that Neeb is going for, detection is going to be very late. Now, Oracle detection is underwhelming, but it's still detection, you know. So if there are two mines burrowed outside of your base, at least you can tag them once. And not having an Oracle at all makes it very difficult as soon as there's an army marching across the map that has a couple of Widow mines in it.
Yeah, so, I mean, we look at the setup here, right? He's going for the Blink, which will give him enough tools to kind of handle drops and whatnot, but the way that Kelazhur's infrastructure is going, because of the fast 3 command centers, he can just get up to a ridiculous amount of Marauder Marine production, and I really feel like taking that 4th base should be really hard for Neeb.
Yeah.
The question is, how is he going to make his tech work here? Because he's just now getting the robotics facility, and I imagine he's going to go into Disruptors.
I think even getting the first fight to go semi-well for him is going to be very, very hard. I really feel that Neeb is going to be stuck on these 3 bases for a while, and he's going to have to hog those pylons very tightly. It's like, all right, you know, if you want to fight me, then at least I have 3 Photon Overcharge to help me out, because the main army of Neeb is not going to have any real DPS anytime soon. He's adding 5 gateways. That looks impressive. Todd would say a gateway explosion. 6, 7. I guess mass Blink Stalker. So it's important. If Kelazhur scouts this, all that Kelazhur needs to do is make sure his army supply goes above 140, 150. Yeah. That's when Blink Stalkers really fall off. But Blink Stalkers are absolutely amazing against small Terran armies where you can actually still dodge the shots. Yeah. And you can maybe pick off the few Marauders.
Once there's not enough burst damage to just insta-gib Stalkers, it is really, really strong position to be able to get into.
I mean, Kelazhur has been ridiculously greedy. Did he even scan once in the main base?
He went full bomber this game, man. He's just like, you know what? Meals give me money.
One scan here would be so big for Kelazhur, because most likely Kelazhur is going to march across the map with, you know, 125, 130 supply, and that's an army that I think Neeb can still fight. He's still going to have to micro very well, but I think it's doable. But if the army goes above 150, there's no way, Jose, that you're going to be able to make it happen with just Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, so
Kelazhur, throw it on a scan, man.
It is a powerful army. So there's the scan. His army does get tagged, so Neeb can keep tabs on him. He's like, hey, man, if you want to walk across the map, that's fine by me. And he's freaking out a lot of adepts, too, getting resonating glaives to complement this force.
I like this. And he scouted. There's no 5th and 6th gas.
You know what? It looks like such a strong build, and I love that Kelazhur is taking the NA approach, and he's just going to build a massive wall to keep the adepts from teleporting into his base.
I mean, this was an absolutely phenomenal scan there for Kelazhur. He saw the army, he probably clicked on the gateway units as well. He's like, wait a minute, no upgrades at all, you Neeb? You know, 7 minutes in the game, 0 upgrades, no 5th and 6th gas. That's when he says, Nate, I wasn't born last night. I know this Protoss army ain't right.
That's right, Kev. And, I mean, this is a really smart setup. Kelazhur can always retreat. Yeah. He's got the great wall back at his 3rd base that he can run behind, preventing any of those teleports into his base. Now, the Warp Prism, of course, is going to be a pretty good way to bypass that, since he has been, you know, cutting costs in other areas to fund that wall. So here comes the drop into the main base. Is it going to be enough?
I mean,
the defensive liberator, I like it.
It's going to definitely pick off a couple. Kelazhur scans, picks up the observer immediately.
Oh, the wall was down. He actually should be able to slip into the natural expansion. These adepts, you know, you can have a wall, but you should close the gates. At the same time, the big army's going to come down here. That Guardian Shield, very useful in these scenarios, but we got some liberation zones coming down too.
It's a very big Terran army though, and I really feel that if you don't pick up these Terran armies, these Terran bio units too quick, they will survive just for long enough to rip through most of these Stalkers. Even though all of the Marines have died, there are still a couple of Widow Mines left.
Yeah,
Good
getting
forward
those,
blink
getting
there.
those medevacs is so crucial.
Wow.
Really cuts down the longevity. Now, he does need to be careful, of course. There are still those Widow Mines
Well, he's got an
behind his
observer or
army.
something. He actually killed all the Widow Mines.
Yeah, knocks out that.
Still though,
It's
there's
not
not a
bad.
single forge on the map. Like that fight went pretty
No,
good
he
for
has the
Neeb.
forge. He's got 1-1 man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It went as good as it could have gone, but okay. The fact that there is no missile
yeah, there's
turret over here,
no
that's
turret
really
in natural.
hurting.
He's pretty sour about that.
I like Kelazhur's army quite a
the
bit.
Adepts did a lot of work.
He had like 165 supply.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that Kelazhur still has going for him is this very expensive wall that he built. But I mean, the Stalkers can blink over it. He's got enough firepower
Oh
to
well,
just
he's
knock it
actually
down.
just gonna do it over here.
Yeah, well, he shuts the... well, I mean, what... I wasn't sure if he was ready to dive in on that just yet.
I love the small little opening. All right, now the Liberators should help out quite a bit. I think it's time for Neeb then to maybe go up to 4 bases. He's got the money for it. He does still have the Prism over here as well. He could try to finish it, but it's risky, man.
Yeah, this is a really, really tense spot because he could just drop the 4th right now, right?
Yeah.
Keep this pressure up.
Well,
he's got the Twilight. +2 is on the way now.
He warped in more units, and those units are marching across the map. So I actually think that Neeb is going to try to win the game over here. Kelazhur sends out 2 medevacs, and that has potential,
the
but he also
scary
needs
thing
those
is-
units at home.
Yeah, I mean, the blink marker is nice, but the scary thing is those Widow Mines. If he blinks onto those Liberators, he's going to lose everything. But taking advantage of the lack of the missile turret, he's just going to do a massive warp into the depths into the 3rd base, or excuse me, natural.
Yep, actually picking off more and more SCVs, and it's starting to become a little bit painful here for Kelazhur. He's bringing back a lot of units. He did get a cancel on that 4th base, so that's definitely something that Kelazhur can work with. And Kelazhur's army supply is starting to look a little more healthy again, or overall supply. Look at this, 110, Nate, with 2 attack upgrades. I'm starting to like it a little bit. Like
That +2 is really nice, but
whoa,
ooh,
survives.
that's really nice. This is that moment where you crank out a Phoenix at you from that Stargate and just patrol him.
Things looked very, very dicey for Kelazhur in a split second, but I think right now he's kind of okay.
He's stabilized.
again.
Yeah, I mean, he hid behind that. That wall was a really nice way to keep the Adepts from constantly threatening him because they can't move through that. And it's just so nice to have the Widow Mines under the Liberators. Like, that's enough Liberators to Shrek the Stalkers from afar. But if you blink close enough to actually take them out in a single volley, those Widow Mines will obliterate your forces.
So the second forge is going to be thrown down now, and the Robo Bay will go down as well. But it's still going to take a while before that really comes into play. And I kind of think that Kelazhur can take a fight while being almost maxed out, or maybe being maxed out, as long as he takes care of that Warp Prism. And if he runs across the map with Liberators and Widow Mines, like, I mean, Adept Blink Stalker is good, but it's really not supposed to be that good. He's not supposed to win that.
Now, you do have another Adept warping into the natural expansion. These SCVs are on the run, as it were. The Stalkers actually come out here and catch this, picking off a couple of these Freedom Fighters here before they engage.
Losing 2 Liberators before the fight started, that definitely hurt. Come on, oh my,
Yeah,
Neeb is making a very big mistake, not paying attention.
Half his army is just chilling over there, taking some serious damage, but there's Adepts in the main, excuse me, Adepts in the natural, Adepts in the 3rd base. Neeb just needs to back off, get up that ramp, and I will say this is a really hard army to engage with how many Widow Mines are mixed into here as well. Those actually also Shrek the Adepts.
Yep, and all of the Liberators are still alive. I'm starting to get pretty damn worried over here for Neeb. It just seems like he's indecisive. He's not sure when he wants to fight. He wants to fight with a Photon Overcharge, but he has no pylons to fall back on. And those Liberation Zones, Nate, they're getting closer and closer. Yes, he's doing damage on the other side of the map, but he needs to fight off this army.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he's going to do. He's just got 20 Adepts, 15 Stalkers. Almost killed the natural command center with those Adepts, but I mean, at some point he has to commit.
He needs 4 GG Widow Mines. That's what Neeb needs.
Nah.
Send the Adepts on top of the Terran army and let Widow Mines just kill the Terran army.
Yeah, this is such a tense spot. He wants to just try to drag this out as long as possible. And this already actually kind of reminds me of his game versus Polt on Laralac Crest in the qualifier for this.
Back then, the biggest problem was though that I really felt that Neeb's army was getting stronger and stronger, and right now I'm not too sure about it. With +3 attack on the way as well for Kelazhur, picking off another pylon, so no Photon Overcharge ever. Liberator's getting a couple of shots off. 1 Colossus is about to join the fight, but
I mean, right about now he's actually able to start to try to fight with some of these forces without the Liberators here, but now that they're inching forward again, like, this is it. He has to fight. He has to take the battle now. I don't know that he can buy himself any more time.
Look at all these reinforcements that just came in. Neeb's base is going to fall. There's 1 Colossus over here. Forward blink.
I mean, he gets 1 Liberator, goes for a 2nd, and the 3rd does get picked off, but everything else dies. At the same time, Neeb down to 69 supply. Nothing he can do. GG. Kelazhur goes up 2-1.
What a crazy game. It really felt at first, like build order-wise, everything looked perfect for Kelazhur. Then at a certain point, it looked like he overextended maybe a little bit, and it looked like, wow, is Neeb just going to end the game here? You know, he's
very back and forth game.
He's like up in supply. He's destroying the natural, picking up SCVs.
I like what you mentioned about the very late gases on the third base, and just he seemed like he committed a lot to trying to kill him there. And it's like, oh, I killed all your SCVs, kill your SCVs, and then it kind of made me think about Daishi's games, where it's just like, okay, yeah, I lost a lot of workers, but I still had a massive army that could actually beat yours because you didn't have high enough tech to stop me.
Still a close series, and definitely a surprising series so far, with Kelazhur taking the lead 2-1 in this best of 5. I believe no break?
Yeah, we're just going to go to a small break,
okay.
and then we'll come back with the next map. You're watching the WCS Winter Championship. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WCS Winter Championship here at the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice, Poland. We are currently at a 2-1 in this Terran versus Protoss affair. Kelazhur, man, he's doing pretty well.
He's looking really good, and I'm loving the builds that he's bringing to the show. You can definitely see that this is the type of series that he knew he was going to play a week or 2 weeks in advance, and he's been preparing for this series. What is also worth mentioning is that the other series is going on as well. And Nate, that's actually turning into one hell of a spectacle, as the score is 2-2 right now between Happy and Hydra.
Could you imagine if Hydra comes all the way out here and just doesn't make any money,
literally go home with nothing. Just a crazy possibility. We are loaded in, of course, to map number 4 in the bottom left position, spawning as the Red Terran. He's up 2-1. He's Root Gaming's Kelazhur.
I'm loving it, Nate, and it's Arena as well.
Arena. Kelagod, as some would say.
I mean, Kelazhur has been on fire lately, man. He's still not a player that people talk about a whole lot, but Kelazhur has been playing the best StarCraft of his career. Is he going to be able to close out this series against this very, very good North American Protoss player? It is, of course, Neeb.
It is hard to say for sure. Like, it's just honestly really interesting because you go into this, you're like, okay, Neeb's kind of been getting a little bit more of the attention. I think if he were to be eliminated, a lot of people are going to be like, woof, you know, it's like definitely one less thing to worry about because he is one of those guys that has taken enough games off the Koreans that he's not someone that you just straight up write off.
Of course, the winner of this series will go up against the winner of Hydra versus Happy, which is currently 2-2. And the final map, by the way, of that series
Central Protocol
is going to be played on Central Protocol, as Nate just said, which is interesting, Nate. It's one of those more unique maps.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very creative map in many ways, but
why do it felt like? Okay, so Neeb is actually playing a little different than a lot of Protoss players do. A lot of Protoss players are very, very afraid to go for a quick expand on this map because they're afraid of those one-base Terran pushes that consist of Liberators, tanks, maybe a Widow Mine. It's just very hard to deal with because of the extremely short rush distance.
I do think it's important when talking about that last game especially to keep in mind that Kelazhur put himself super far ahead with that triple command center rush. Like, that's so unbelievably greedy.
No.
Why would he say that?
I don't know.
I think he's baiting him.
No, you don't do that. You don't bait.
I don't know.
You just... I mean, like, these players are nervous, Nate. This is something I was talking to Red Eye about. This is not normal, you know, for players like this to play one best of 5 for $6,000. These are not veterans, you know. These are not guys that have 100K on their bank account.
NA players, baby rage. Never lucky.
It's good that at least both NA players are going full NA over here.
Yeah, I mean, if they both go full NA, it kind of evens out, right? So, there you go. It's something.
Keeping it fair.
I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't Boxer making jokes like this the reason why chat got banned from like Korean StarCraft? Because you just say like most ridiculous stuff and get in people's heads.
I do not remember that. I was watching Warcraft 3 or playing Warcraft 3 night. This whole Brood War thing was a mystery.
It was just what I heard. I don't know. You got guys. I think there's been a lot of people that have been good at that. I mean, Kelazhur's like, yeah, okay, man, maybe he doesn't have his mothership core out or something. Let's just go attack him. Like, well, maybe he actually could get something done.
How
here.
funny would it be if, like, the moment Neeb like forgot core, Kelazhur just pulls all his SCVs in the right across the map?
It's like, did you forget cybernetics core or mothership core? And this marine pressure is coming up, and you know what? He's kind of getting himself into an awkward spot here.
I'm not sure how much I like this.
I mean, at the very least, he's going to throw away at the marines, but he gets the adapt, and this
if he gets
mothership
3
core.
probes, that is good.
Yeah, this mothership core is very vulnerable as well, and killing that would be pretty cash money.
Doesn't have the DPS. Only got 1 probe there in the end. 1 probe and an adapt. I'm not sure if that's.
He injured 1 probe. He hurt its feelings.
No, he took it out. He took 1 down.
Yeah, he killed 1 and brutally injured another. Now the Oracle's going across map. What is waiting for this Oracle? Do
actually, absolutely
cheeky
nothing.
Widow Mine tucked in somewhere? Oh, he goes to the ramp. Okay, he shows his hand.
Fleet
Bacon! Whoop, whoop!
I mean,
sizzle on the pan, man.
It's the way to play, Nate. Well, there's an exposed mineral line. I guess he doesn't know what we know.
Well, okay, there is a mine.
Okay.
There is a mine. He's smart.
He was here.
He's Neeb. Neeb.
1 Neeb is gonna make one Neeb.
One
Widow Mine is gonna make its way across the map as well. And this medevac is gonna try to drop it. Of course, that Oracle has plenty of detection. Second Stargate as well. We will go full Tempest over here on the arena.
So I think at this point, Kelazhur should see this and be like, huh? He has enough energy to reveal it, but okay, don't take any damage. He doesn't have a robo, so he has to use the Oracle energy to reveal it, and then
he saw it, right?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, so
got it.
Now there are multiple.
The first Tempest is on the way.
Yeah, there are multiple ways you can play against this, and Nate, I speak out of experience.
Kev, should I just stop talking?
You know,
just enlighten me, senpai.
You know, I've been in this scenario a couple of times. I don't do this super often on the arena. That's a lie, guys. Every game.
Every game I tune into your stream, it's some salty Terran. This map is ridiculous. You've got like 8 Tempest shooting from like the unhittable area.
So the good news for Kelazhur is at least that he's facing this with a double base economy. That's going to help him a lot. That's going to give him him a good shot. You know, Tempest are extremely good in low army counts as well. If you just pick off one unit at a time.
It's 2 Tempest to kill a Marine.
Two
And he's
Tempest to
building
kill an
Marauders
SCV.
too. Like, that kind of makes me nervous. I think you need to put your gas rate into Vikings against this.
Well, there are 2 ways. Either you go full Viking or you go full bio. Like, don't
It's
go.
like, try to base trade?
Yes, like eventually Tempest are incredibly immobile. It is possible. Like, he's gonna bleed out a lot of units, but it's completely okay. As long as you get a crazy amount of bio units, there is a good chance that Kelazhur can make this work. The last thing he should do though is like make a lot of bio units and then suddenly squeeze out like 3, 4, 5 pathetic Vikings. Then it's not gonna work. You either go double starport, mass Viking immediately, or you don't make Vikings at all and you go mass bio. I don't think doing both is ever going to work.
Okay, okay.
And he's kind of doing both right now.
I trust you to be the expert at this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he is going to move into siege tanks as well to be safe against some other follow-up. But now there's 4 Tempests outside of his base. That's so sick.
Tanks are actually the worst unit in the game against Tempest. I actually think
Neeb
is already in a phenomenal position
siege
here.
tanks are have never been known for their anti-air, but I'm going to agree with you as well as a Terran expert that I also do not endorse this decision.
I'm very worried, but like even the Vikings, like 2 Vikings at a time, by the time he's gonna have 4 Vikings, he's gonna face 6, 7 Tempest, Nate, and the Tempest is gonna have +1 as well.
That's disgusting.
You want me to hype this one up, Nate, or
Can you be banned from
can
this?
I be can I be brutally honest?
Is it all ogre?
Yeah, this one is all ogre.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Like this army.
It's got so many Tempests.
Yep, and there's a couple of Vikings, but look at this army in the middle of the map. He's already gonna eat a lot of free shots, and there's Photon
Pushing this
overcharge.
ramp, pushing
Look
that
at this
ramp
army.
with all the overcharges. That's pathetic.
This is a sorry excuse for a Terran army.
Yeah, this is one flaccid army, Roddy. I don't think it's got any. There's no potency behind this push.
I don't even think he needs the Tempest against this.
No. I think the overcharge should be enough, but you know what? Might as well just bring the hammer back and just smite this.
Okay, he's throwing down 2 additional starports now. I mean, I
He's trying
guess.
to buy time, crank out a lot of Vikings. That is how you. That's how you got to do this.
Yep. I mean, either you just go full Marine,
But I
just
feel like
mass,
it
mass,
should be
mass
too
Marine.
late, though.
Yeah, I think it's too late. But unless Neeb somehow loses his Oracle. Ooh, what are you doing over here, Kelazhur? I mean, he's trying to buy time, I guess, but he has to be very risky. A stim with the
Whoa,
Marines.
that's a lot of Marines.
Does he have stims?
Yeah, he has stim. If he were to just rush down this ramp right now, I feel like he could have.
He could have taken out at least 1, maybe 2 Tempests there. I think 2 actually. 1 low HP one and 1 full HP one.
He's got to make sure to keep using the Revelation with the Oracle to actually keep shooting, because you don't want to move those Tempests closer than they need to be to hit these units from max range.
How does the work account look currently?
They're 350.
Okay, now
See,
he's
there's
stims,
the
but
big
now
stim.
Neeb is looking, so he might get 1 Tempest here, but he should never get, well, second one's close now, but he shouldn't get more than that. And I feel like...
Yeah, this is giving some more time, though. The Viking count is starting to rise up.
Yeah, so eventually he may get enough Vikings to deal with the Tempest, but then I feel he's gonna die against the Adepts on the ground. I mean, there's still hope for Kelazhur, actually. Like, it went a little bit better for him than I expected, and Neeb is not dropping Revelation on critical parts of the base.
I feel like the lack of Revelation has really caused these Tempests to be so exposed.
Tempests are in a lot of trouble right now, actually. A lot of Tempests are going to fall over here.
And needs to focus down the Vikings, but of course those Tempests do attack very slowly, so the Vikings trying to focus down the weakest Tempest as well. Really great job grabbing the easy targets, as it were.
Yeah, there's still enough Tempests over here, and this is a fight that that Kelazhur can continue, because he doesn't have the same economy as Neeb has. Neeb is up like 15, 20 workers.
Neeb's getting his 3rd base now too, so he's going to be very well set economically speaking. Oh, this is nightmarish.
Yep.
This is.
And that's a great revelation, by the way, keeping track of those Marines, because the Tempest, they will win any air battle right now against the Vikings. So as long as you know where the Marines are,
and the thing is,
you
stim those Marines, and then the Tempest 2-shot them again because they can't afford to build medevacs. He needs Vikings.
You 2-shot them,
That's
period,
tragic.
though.
Oh, even with the combat
Yeah.
shields, you just know everything.
You don't even need the +1 air weapons for them.
That's disgusting. It's beautiful. Did you know these things only cost 4 supply?
How much HP does a Viking have again, Nate?
125.
I knew that. I just needed to tease Nate. Nate loves to talk about Viking HP on his stream.
Hey man, Tempests are. This map makes it. At least they kind of begs for it, you know.
Yep. No, this is the best Tempest map in history, actually. You know, like I thought King's Junk Station was good, but no. Then they gave me Arena. It's like, thank you guys. A couple of Tempests will fall over here, but the supply tell the tale of this game. This is just a war that Kelazhur can't continue. He's just not having the same income as Neeb.
Already very exciting to see that it does look like it is going to go to a Game 5. I don't really see how Kelazhur is supposed to claw his way out of this one.
You know, a way would have been been, and I know this sounds bizarre, but I think taking the gold against Tempest is also very good because your Protoss, you know, this army is very slow, so it's very, very hard to make your
you
way.
spread yourself out to the point where the Tempest need to go over open ground.
Yeah, exactly, and that also makes them a lot more vulnerable.
Because this is enough Marines. Like, if the Marines could get underneath these Tempests, they're going to go for it again. Another big stim. But the Tempest, man, they're just rolling.
Yep.
A couple of them still a little bit overexposed here, but at this point, it doesn't matter.
The Adepts are starting to march in as well, and let's not forget that Neeb is actually on 3 bases right now. It's 140 supply against 70 supply, and this game will go to game number 5. Not bad for a game where you forgot your core.
Forgot my cybernetic score. He's like, I got this, and then he's like, kill you with Tempests.
Oh, I actually thought he was going to let them finish, Nate. I definitely think he could have let it finish.
Yeah, I mean, he can pretty much drop the hammer, I think, at any point in this. Now.
Neeb is just enjoying this. He's
Neeb,
like, guys,
Neeb's like,
this was a macro game.
Thing is, Neeb could win this game right now, but Neeb could also just break Kelazhur's spirit and then go into game number 5 like, what are you going to do, punk?
Actually lost 8 Tempests. That's more than you see in most games. This guy, no, he's still not going to let it finish.
Roddy, if this were you in the game, you'd max out on Tempest already. He'd have +2. You'd have the carry upgrade on the way, just in case you wanted to throw as well.
No man, the last time a Tempest game went past the 20-minute mark for me, it didn't go very good. With Tempest, I believe in quick, smooth victories.
Okay, I can appreciate that. GG, Neeb ties the series up 2-2. America standing strong here at the WCS Winter Championship. That's just fun to watch. That scares me. I'm glad people don't do that against me. I've only had one person do it, and it was State, and it was just like, you just feel so powerless once there's like 4 Tempests. You're like, no, there's nothing I can do.
I mean, like every now and then I watch different broadcasts, and people are like, he's dropping the fleet beacon, and then I'm just sitting at home, and I'm sitting at home like, you know, like, I don't want to be rude, but this is like the best build on this map, guys. Like, you know, hold your horses. And like, there are many different ways you can go Tempest, of course. Like, there is a 1-base opening. The advantage of 1-base Tempest is that it hits a lot quicker, and then you can also prevent the Terran from ever expanding. So Terran is fighting Tempest on 1 base, which
there's
means
just so much space where the Marines can't chase you. And if you have Revelation especially, and I feel like the Revelation was the only reason why he lost so many Tempests. You can just hit from super far.
All you have to do is keep the Oracle alive, and that's probably why, like in the early game, he didn't send the Oracle in to kill SCVs, because if you go Tempest, killing the SCVs is nice, but the Oracle is 100 times more important than killing a couple of SCVs. So just very well done there by Neeb. He wasn't sure if there was a Widow Mine or not. I actually thought there wasn't one, but there was one hidden behind the command center. Don't lose the Oracle if you want to play Tempest, because Revelation is the key to this build. You know, he did it off 2 bases. He did it very well. He got himself in an unlosable position very, very early on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you especially get to play 6 Tempests. Like, Roddy, I'm sure you know this. How many Tempests do you need to one-shot a Viking?
It's 5.
Yeah, when you get 6 Tempests, you're just like...
I think it's actually, if you have +1, it's 4.
Wow. Learning even more dirty things about Protoss every single day. Well, thankfully, I started this match. I'm super biased for Neeb, so I'm actually not even upset by that.
It's a beautiful build on a beautiful map. So that means that the final map is going to be played probably not on Central Protocol. I can imagine that one is vetoed. We haven't seen Prime Terraces yet. Oh, yes, we did. That was the Ghost Rush, sorry.
That was a Ghost map.
We've seen both Orbital and DOS, so it may be Runes? Runes of Ceres?
Runes makes sense.
Larolac is...
I think you actually... Ruins and Larolac were both really hard maps to play versus Neeb on. Those are the maps where he had a lot of success with the Disruptor drops, but I can't imagine Central Protocol being the last map.
I would still prefer to play him on Runes, I think. I still think that Runes is a reasonable Terra map. Of course, it's very hard to defend against Prisms, and Blink Stalkers can be very scary as well. But at the same time, I think it can be a frustrating map for Protoss, because I feel you're forced to open up with a Stargate. If you don't open up with a Stargate, things will get very, very tricky.
Yeah, there's a lot of airspace where, I mean, obviously the Stargate becomes useful, and then it's also very difficult to deal with things like the War Prisms or fast.
Small update of the other game, as we are multitasking over here in real life. We're trying to watch the other game as well, and I think this one's over.
It's all ogre.
I see those big units with the claws, Nate.
Yeah, that game looked really close. And then
So I think that Hydra is going to advance to the round of 16. He seems to be up like 80, 90 supply. Happy, he's trying to give it his all.
He literally just GG'd rip. All right.
Well, that's Hydra advancing to the round of 16.
Yeah, and Happy taking 2 games. Definitely brought it close.
Hey, that sets us up maybe for a rematch between Neeb and Hydra, and that would be a killer match as well.
That would be That would be pretty sick. I mean, Neeb has he beat him in a pretty long series.
Yeah,
Hydra
legit series.
Hydra
like,
was playing on his actual computer. You know?
yeah, it was not a laptop.
He was not, playing with like 420 ping or anything
Yeah.
crazy like that. Like it was, and it was a great
And it was-
series
yeah,
too.
I know, I
It went
watched
the
it.
distance.
That
best
game
of
on
five.
the game on Brian, who? But I mean,
Yeah.
we're not there yet. Kelazhur has shown us some excellent builds. I did not really like his build on the Arena. I feel Arena is such a unique map that you gotta do something unique, or at
Yeah.
least you gotta expect something
That's-
unique in return.
That's what I always hate, and I was like kind of disappointed like earlier today seeing like Bunny open with like the Reaper expand against Haas. It's like Reapers are totally useless. They're like garbage on this map, but it's I don't know. I actually don't know what the last map is, so I'm really.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably Runes, so let's be honest. Maybe Lerelec, but I think it's Runes. And as soon as we are ready, I think one of the players taking a very quick break. Can't blame it. It's been a very long day. I mean, it's been a super long day for us. I saw you were active on Twitter at 4:45 in the morning, and so was I.
Yeah, that jet lag, man, coming from Cali.
Yeah, Jetlag took a 2-0 victory over Nate and I in the morning, but so it's been like a solid 16-hour day for us, and I sure think that the players are a little bit tired as well. Of course, the players had all the freedom in the world to arrive at whatever time they wanted to arrive, because they knew they would be playing a little bit later. But when it's 2-2 and it's at the end of a long day, you definitely deserve to take a couple of minutes when there is $6,000 on the line for one best of one. Nate, I cannot even imagine how nervous I would be playing one best of one for $6,000.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy. And just so you guys know as well, of course, we are going to be playing out the last of the round of 32. The last two matches will be tomorrow, and then move into the round of 16. And then we get into the real mushy-gushy parts.
For the people who wonder, what are the last two matches of the round of 32? Those will be back-to-back ZVZs. Bly was a last-minute replacement for Vortex. I have to admit, I'm a little bit sad that Vortex is not here. I would have loved to see that Moreno brother in action, as he definitely deserved all the hype after his comeback, because every single game he played, I saw him win. Bly will go up against Elaser, and then the last match of the round of 32 is, of course, Mr. Creative himself, TLO, against Ayosonu.
That's right. Of course, all want to see the Wunderwunsch, but first, we need to find out who's going to win the last match here of the day. The final map on Ruins of Ceres. In the top left, we have the Red Terran player. He is Root Gaming's Kelazhur.
Probably the biggest match out of his career so far, but the same goes for this young man spawning on the right top side of Ruins of Ceres. It is, of course, the American Protoss player, Neeb. Neeb. America. You remember the Roadrunner, the cartoon?
Yeah.
Neeb.
has a very spammable name. I think so. I think, you look at the estimated meme value projection on Neeb, especially if he's able to take this series, astronomically rising up.
Would you buy stocks right now, Nate?
Yeah, and I think investing in Neeb has been a very, very strong market move, especially with his recent victories over Polt, over Hydra.
Neeb is going to scout in the wrong direction. I don't know what it is with Protoss players, Nate, but somehow I feel that Protoss players are absolutely never lucky when it comes to scouting.
I thought this was a part of the full NA thing. All the NA players just with those super long scouts.
I mean, it makes sense that you scout bottom first, because it could be a little bit scarier against the one base opening and stuff. There's slightly more threat spawning vertical than there is horizontal, but scouting someone last on a 4-player map is just very annoying. It's not as bad in PvT as it is in PvZ, but it just feels bad, man. Like, you send out a probe relatively early, you try to do the right thing, and by the time that your probe actually makes it to the other side of the map, you run into a Reaper. And it's like, well, I saw absolutely nothing. This is great.
Well, I mean...
You saw the Reaper.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of comes down to what exactly your opponent's up to. If it's even that bad, the Reaper is going to go in the wrong direction, so... Can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need.
This could actually be very annoying, because that Reaper being this far out of position, this will allow this probe to start working on his command center, because somehow Neeb decided to scout cross map after scouting the bottom first.
Yeah.
This is very weird, but...
very interesting life choices.
He saw everything, right?
Does he know?
Yeah,
oh, he knows. Okay.
Just didn't reveal the probe. He wants to keep the probe alive. A penny saved is a penny earned, as Letourte would like to say.
Yeah.
And this probe could mine, Nate.
Yeah, he could go home and get some more value out of his life, just like Neeb.
So actually, Kelazhur is the one that's absolutely never lucky, as he's going to scout the Protoss base last.
Yeah, that is
If that Reaper would have run straight towards Neeb's base when Neeb dropping the Nexus before the core, it would probably allow him to get a free probe.
Yeah, that's it's an interesting setup that we have here, though. He's going into the robotics facility, and I'm not gonna lie, Roddy, I want to see it. I want to see the Neeb disruptor drops. I think if you were preparing as a Terran against Protoss, you should have expected Neeb to do this, and the fact that he hasn't done it kind of puts Kelazhur in this spot where he's like, is it finally going to happen, or do I play the Stargate again?
I understand your excitement, but at the same time, I also think that if you do not play Stargate on this map, defending against Liberators, defending against Terran drops becomes incredibly difficult in the later stages of this game. So Neeb better protect that Warp Prism if he goes for Warp Prism drops, like it is his firstborn son, because if it's not, you know, if he loses that Prism, I think he's going to be in a world of trouble. Wow, that's a very quick third base, by the way. Before the 4-minute mark, man, Neeb's crazy.
Yeah.
On this map, out of all the maps out there,
And that fast Liberator, okay,
you know what would be good against this? U-Thermal's push.
Yeah, the old school, just Cyclone Reactor Marine push.
Old school. It's like a month.
It is old school.
A month ago.
Hey man, that build worked for like 2 days, and then for us, we're like, yeah.
Great scout. Great scout. What is in the back? Is that a Liberator already?
Yeah, he's got a Liberator.
Oh no.
Oh, it's not there yet, but
No,
he's
I
got
saw
one on the way.
That was really weird. I saw like a fat red dot on the mini-map, and I was like, what? But that was just the end of the scan.
That
Or
scan
maybe it's just
animation is overpowered, Kev. Confuses observers, confuses casters.
Oh, I mean, he has Cyclone over here as well. Cyclone could potentially shut down the Prism. Kelazhur might just go all out here with 2-base aggression.
I feel like this first Liberator should actually force a lot of awkward dancing around from Neeb, depending on, I guess, where the pylons are placed.
That's not a great pylon against
you need to
Widow.
be on the other side.
That's very strange. This even delays the mining a tiny bit, I think.
Yeah. I will say this, with this map in particular is a bit more tricky to get the free shots with Liberators because there's more space between the minerals and the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
So for the Liberator to be in range, Stalkers should be able to hit it from outside the Liberation zones.
But if all the Stalkers are out of position, Kelazhur does not know about his ridiculously quick third Nexus, by the way. And if he would know, I wonder how he would play this one out.
Okay.
There's a lot of space here.
This is actually a pretty
Ooh.
good spot.
If you would have got a free Stalker, that would have been amazing.
I'll be honest, man. I don't do this enough to know perfectly how it works against Protoss, but he scanned himself. Like, I think he got the Observer.
Yeah, probably an Observer. Yeah, we do see that Observer.
Nice
right
moves.
Now. I mean, it's going to be tanks as well, so I kind of feel that what Kelazhur is doing here is pretty damn similar to what we saw on Orbital Shipyard.
This
This time,
position is really awkward.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even put units there. This is one of those funny things, because as a Terran, you realize that you're like, wait, he actually can't get a unit in range of my Liberator because of where he put his buildings.
I mean, Nate, I'm not a Stargate player against Terran, but there's a reason why I probably play Stargate on this map, and I've been talking about it throughout this entire
series. There's a reason
series.
why a lot of top Protosses will play open with a Stargate at least every single game.
Yeah, but especially on this map. Like, look at him, like, Liberators can just chill there. They can just, you know, Netflix and chill and come back.
Yeah, getting that Liberator kill is really, really important, but there's another one.
Yeah, but this one is not very scary yet.
No.
Unless a probe would mine at
He's
the
like
back of
trying
the mineral patch.
This is one of those like bait Liberators where he's like, I'm not actually covering anything, but I'm trying to make you panic.
So Neeb is sending out his scout, and he's going to see that this base is pretty much fully saturated and has been here for a while. Like clicking on a probe, maybe clicking on the mineral patch as well. You can see the amount of minerals that have been mined. And he's just gearing up for a big 2-base push. He's putting all his eggs in one basket. This is very similar to game number 1. So how the series started, Nate, that's how it's going to end. But will the outcome of the fight be different this time?
Yeah, it's really important that Neeb gets rid of this Liberator as soon as possible, losing 2 Stalkers and taking the shields off of 1. He needs every unit possible to hold off this inevitable Marine tank shove.
But I do feel that this time he could afford to lose 2 Stalkers because he's been mining a lot more. I feel like this time the base was, if I recall correctly, 35 seconds or 40 seconds quicker than it was on Orbital.
I'm still pretty nervous about this though. With this setup coming, there's a lot of Marines. He's got the siege tanks as well. Although this time he has the Immortal backbone as well.
Yep. And I think he has the Adept upgrade already.
He has the Adept upgrade.
Yeah. And last time he opened up with Blink, that just wasn't able to do a whole lot. Take a look at army supply. I think Neeb is fine, man. Like he needs to dance around a little bit, but this time, like, Kelazhur cannot be as crazy as he was on Orbital, because you gotta respect those Immortals. If the tanks are too far forward, they end up losing the tanks, then it's just Adepts against Marines. I love the position that Neeb is putting himself in already. It's gonna be hard for Kelazhur to make this one work. It's not impossible. It will all come down to the engagement, but I kind of like this a lot better for Neeb than I did it on Orbital.
Yeah, it looks like this position only. Oh no! Sometimes
maybe you can get the prism for free.
Yeah, he so those Marines are actually he actually kind of derped with this position there. He might accidentally get a free prism though. That'd be great.
He gets a free prism. It's a big stim, but he gets a free prism.
Yeah, and then this drop comes in, so a big bunch of warpins are forced here, but the army's not close enough to actually capitalize on this.
No. And I love as well that Neeb does not overreact. He didn't pull all of his units, you know, he didn't really fall for the bait. He's like, I know what you're trying to do over here.
Man, go for it, man.
But the annoying thing is, because of the amount of airspace behind this and there is no Stargate, that medevac can chill and it's going to come back.
Medevacs can chill in that corner all day.
But, I mean, Blink is going to be ready. +1 armor is about to finish up as well.
Yeah.
It's a big upgrade.
Big money plays.
Oh,
Two tanks are
oh
stuck.
my God.
You know what? We're going to see another ... Roddy. Kelazhur. He's going to have another ... with all these tanks left behind. That's a tremendous amount of firepower.
Yep. Kelazhur probably looking. He's like, hey, I got 142 supply, but I somehow have no army in the middle of the map. He's going to unload 8 Marines.
Yeah, and
for
now the drop has been dealt with. Mothership Court! Survive.
Wow.
Survive! So this is really nice. Okay, there we go. Where my tanks at?
Okay, he's going to try to drop again. He knows that Mothership Core is really low in supply. But look at the army supply this time, man. I really think that Neeb, he took a little bit of a risk with that ridiculously quick third Nexus, but it has paid off, man.
It paid off with big dividends. He's at 177 supply, and Kelazhur he's not no follow-up. This is going to be a tank, marine, double liberator attack.
He has a medevac as well on the top side of the map, but I kind of feel he needs all of his units here. I think Neeb is just going to go for it almost immediately. Maybe just activate Gunship.
Yeah, I think this is the
he's going to go for it.
He's got the War Prism with the Immortals. He dives right on top. There's the teleport, drops the Immortals onto the siege tanks as the Stalkers get closer and closer, starting to work away at those Liberators. There is one more in the back, but he's cleaning up. A drop does land. It actually picks off 12 probes in natural during all of this. He will still be able to get rid of the Liberators, but most of the army for Kelazhur has been routed. It's just this drop that he's got dealing damage back home to Neeb's natural expansion.
Yeah, that fight actually looked pretty promising for Kelazhur for a while, but eventually there were just a few too many adepts. That's a good pickup there over here for Kelazhur. Picks up the Mothership Core and saves these Marines as well. Picked off 22 probes. Is that enough, Nate? Is that something you can work with?
I mean, we still have to consider the fact that there's no third command center, right? Like, he's going to have to float over his main most likely. Yeah. And longevity-wise, that +2 armor is going to be really nice. There's no armory.
No armory. Yeah. Indeed. But I mean, Kelazhur has one more push in him. Like, it's not game over yet because of that drop.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the supply difference, you know, he was up a solid 30 or so. Fight's over. He's only down 10. Unfortunately, you know, he doesn't have really much he can do with this gas that he has. Just keep trying to crank out Liberators.
Of course, the scary thing is as well that Neeb could potentially start warping in a couple of Archons soon, and that changes things a little bit as well.
Yeah, our Archons are going to be absolutely sick against mass Marine styles as well.
Or even a Storm, but he doesn't need to go up to Storm. I feel like if it's
I feel like Storm is kind of pushing it because Kelazhur should be pushing again very soon.
Yep.
I don't think he has time for that, but yeah, I definitely agree. An Archon or two.
Floated over the command center, by the way. There were just not enough minerals left in the main base, so he's just going to try to mine up this base for a while. Probably going to make the same push when he hits 150, 155 supply again. And this time, there is a Warp Prism trying to be annoying over here, picking up a couple of SCVs.
I mean, dealing as much economic damage as he can. He already knows that Kelazhur at this point is highly committed to this play because he sees there's no command center in the main.
So what if Kelazhur just sinks this one out until he's almost maxed out?
I don't think that should work because without an armory, like Protoss upgrades scale really well with how Marauder damage works.
But do you think that Neeb, okay, well, I won't say ever finds the courage to research Storm?
Yeah,
well, there we go.
He's getting Storm and +3. Like you can't grind this out now. Like you can't afford to do anything other than what you're doing right now for Kelazhur.
He's dropping an armory, Nate.
Wow, is he?
Yep.
He needs another command center though, because he doesn't have the mules to support a full economy like this with these upgrades. He's gonna float his natural to the 4th. Like,
I think that Kelazhur just feels if he makes the push now, he's done for. And let's not forget, this is game 5 of the best of 5, and he just feels like, you know, if I make the same push, it's just not going to work.
But the thing is, he delays his push to get like one thing, which is going to be the upgrades. But then now there's going to be, even still that +3, but also Storm. And he can't afford to get upgrades and goes with 2 command centers.
It's not just that he delays or that he waits for upgrades, he also waits for a bigger army. I think he just wants to max out.
I can see why, but now the Protoss gets the #1 thing that absolutely shreks heavy Marine counts. So,
I mean, tanks maybe can pick up the High Templars in a perfect world.
You know that it takes 3 siege tank shots to kill a High Templar in this scenario. So
I do know that.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be that great.
Warp Prism a little bit exposed over here. Well, the Warp Prism will make its way out.
Maybe if we got that tank damage buff, I think the Dream possibly be alive. But in this position.
Marines are going to try to snipe the fort. I don't think he will get the fort, but he might be able to get a couple of very exposed probes. And a 3 High Templars, and that now he knows there are High Templars at least. Gets 4, 5, 6 probes. This is an excellent little run by. Love it.
Yeah, Storm
Very
is
well
done. +3 armor is going to be done soon. +2 attack has just started.
Yeah, that is
Like,
actually a big problem.
Neeb's units are going to be taking about as much damage from Kelazhur's Marines as Ultras do.
If he Guardian shields and he has a +2 armor advantage, Marines
Yeah,
will
it's-
just stick all Protoss
Yeah,
units.
it's actually like fighting Ultras. It's pretty sick. And you know, these Stalkers are just like,
You can
yeah,
already
we're not really
Yeah.
afraid of you. You know, +1 versus +2, +3 about to be finished.
No,
like,
no, Kelazhur, you cannot fight now. Like, your +2 is not even halfway done. This would be the biggest anti-timing that I've ever seen. He's
attack
gonna fight.
as your opponent gets
Oh
+3
no,
armor
he's gonna
and has
fight a
Storm.
maxed out Protoss that has 2 armor advantage and
Alright.
has Storm.
Press F to pay respects.
Rip Terran 1998, 2016, Nate.
Well, I mean, he did proc the barriers, and the Templar
Oh.
are clumped up, so
What happened there?
I don't know,
And the
Trader.
depth?
Depth went a little too close
Oh
to the sun
god,
here.
I mean, this is such a big anti-timing though.
The
Look at
more
this
time
max
goes by.
out Protoss, +3 armor. The only thing he doesn't have is charge. That's like the only thing.
Yeah, it is one thing that is pretty important. I think the most important thing, like you mentioned, is he has to try to get the Templar with the tanks. If those Templar drop storms on those Marines, that is, you know, the Twitch chat will never be the same. They will all be permanently scarred for the epic amounts of tear and death that are about to be witnessed.
And the beautiful storms, of course.
And the beautiful storms, Roddy.
I mean, charge is about to finish up as well. There are a couple of liberation zones that's going to make it a little bit harder for these High Templars.
Neeb's just showing his patience, though. He's going to have charge. You
Yeah.
have +3 charge lots.
But I mean,
that's all you
okay,
need.
he's going to go for it, Nate. This is it. This is probably the final fight of day 1.
Yeah, he's got a huge surround, hitting from the west, hitting from the east, hitting from the west and the east. Storm's dropping on the tanks, Storm's dropping on the Marines, Storm's dropping on the tanks and the
Wow,
Marines.
supply is
It's
getting
just
so
crushing
close, though.
through, but the biggest thing here is that there's a 2,000 mineral bank for Neeb to reinforce with.
This fight actually went a lot better for Kelazhur than I thought it was, being down 2 upgrades. Oh, that storm, though.
Oh, another one.
This is not the way I would use another one.
I mean, he's still got a lot to work with. I mean, those Immortals are rolling through, the
that's it.
Stalkers, bing, bang, boom. And Neeb's just like, all right, man, just spam out those Adepts, A move, lean back in my chair, get ready for the camera to look to me when I win the game, and, you know, make a peace sign or something.
2,500 minerals in the bank.
Yeah, that's a lot of Zealous, right?
Yep.
That's a lot of everything, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot of whatever the hell you want right now.
He's a rich boy. He's walking through the mall. He's like, yeah, you know what? I got an all expenses paid shopping spree. What do I want? I want to go to the round of 16, get 6 grand. Easy.
He had to work very, very hard for it though, but in the end, Neeb was able to close this one out. He's not up a whole lot right now, but he's just in such a phenomenal position that it doesn't really matter how hard he's going to try to throw this game. It's just not possible.
Very well played series here out of Neeb as he cleans up the rest of Kelazhur's forces. We see the tap out coming in, and Neeb is going to make it to the round of 16. Good luck, says Kelazhur. GG.
Wow, man, a very cool series and an excellent showing by Kelazhur though. Like, you know, 3-2, very close, couldn't really have been any closer. And even that final game, you know, I definitely think it got close at multiple moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit heartbreaking for Diego. But nice to see Neeb advance, nice to see an American Protoss player make it into the round of 16 of Into Extreme Masters, because that has been a long, long time.
Yeah, you know, I think I can speak for a lot of the Americans in the chat. All you guys tune in. You know, it's nice to get, you know, a little bit for that representation, especially a new American, right? Someone that we can really see who's just recently started to actually take big games off these guys. And he's going to have a hell of a match against Hydra tomorrow. So,
Rematch!
yeah. Let's hear from the boys of the desk how they enjoyed that best of 5.
Hyperino, Nate, we enjoyed it a lot, trying to join in with you. It was a great series, and I'm very happy to see Neeb go through.
Bit of a struggle. Kelazhur, as you guys said, was not to be trifled with, and was even looking in pretty good position for a while there, even in Game 5. Won convincingly when he did, and lost narrowly when he did not, except for the Ghost Rush. That seemed a little bit silly. I mean, he ran into a Robo. If you run anything else, it looks good, but...
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It is a really coin flippy build, right?
It's super gimmicky and coin flippy, and if your opponent scouts it or even senses it's coming whatsoever, you either make cannons or you get a robo and you win the game. So yeah, he was pretty unfortunate, but I think Kelazhur overall played really well. Like, everybody looked at this game and people were saying like, oh, 3-0 Neeb, there's so much hype around him. Not much hype around Kelazhur at all, but he, like, as we talked about before, he did recently beat Scarlet and Polt. in a different tournament. And Kelazhur, he's this guy that he does go under the radar. Like, he could have as well been a dark horse in the tournament, but yeah, Neeb, man, he pulled
He's a
out
dead horse now, though.
He is a dead horse now. I really like the Tempest thing on Arena, though. It's awesome when you see something made for the map specifically. And Kelazhur had no idea what to do against it.
Yeah, it was brilliant to see. Thoughts, Maynard, here on the series?
Well, I knew it was going to be close. I picked it to be a 3-2, but unfortunately, I did still pick Neeb, so 3-2.
Yeah.
I did actually get that. So there you go.
Well done,
I'm
Maynard.
Got a prediction.
I'm
right.
100% in predictions today.
Well done. Well done.
Oh,
Can you all say that? No, you can't. So
I can.
Can you?
No.
No, of
you
course.
can't at all.
No one cannot.
I've been
Yeah,
listening.
but congratulations, Neeb. He'll go up against Hydra tomorrow. A massive game for him, of course. Hydra was able to beat out Happy 3-2. A very close series. If I'm not mistaken, Neeb is now on the couch, joined by Red Eye. So we're going to go over there. Hopefully, you are ready, Red Eye.
And Valdez.
Always ready for you, Sean.
Ah, thank
Oh,
you, mate.
wow.
Absolutely,
Rude.
even when it gets late at night, you know, because normally I'm in bed by now with slippers and a couple of Horlicks, but
To be honest, I'm getting closer to that age too. So
I think the orderlies put you guys all to bed well before this, don't they?
Control Red Eye, please take it away.
thank you, Jeff. Well, Neeb, congratulations. Forgetting control, he's just being a crazy guy like he normally is. It's late at night and we haven't had any coffee. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you
Bit tired.
calming down now after a heavy game?
Yeah, that's pretty stressful.
Yeah, pretty stressful. 2-1 down.
Yeah.
My goodness, that was a lot of stress, wasn't it? What were you thinking there, 2-1 down? You thinking, oh my God, what am I doing now?
Both games that I lost, I actually practiced the most for those kinds of styles. Like, I expected to win both of those games that I lost. And so I thought, like, I probably should have 3-0'd him, but I ended up being down 2-1.
Yeah.
It was...
In control mentioned he felt like you were playing below what we would normally expect you to see and below where you would normally expect to be. Did it feel the same for you?
Yeah, I think both me and Kelazhur are really tired and just, like, not in our best shape right now. Like, I played a lot today, so I'm also kind of worn out. So it's just, like, I really feel like I did not play, like, how I normally would play.
So how about that build in game number 4, the Tempest build on Arena? What do you feel about that in terms of PvT, just on that map and that map in general? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Arena is a really hard map to play PvT on, except if you do some kind of weird strategy like Mass Tempest. And I have to give a shout out to State for that build. Double Stargate Tempest is pretty good. If you get +1 attack for the Tempest, they 4-shot Vikings, which means if you get 4 Tempests, you can 1-shot Vikings. So it makes it really good against Viking styles.
I like the maths on that one.
Yeah,
I like
it
the
really
maths on
works
that.
out.
Yeah.
Because generally the response, I was even talking to Muslim, he's like, that's the response, you get double starport reactor, and it looked like Kelazhur was a little bit slow on that, but if you can get out that many Tempests and you're 4-shotting Vikings, then you're going to have a huge advantage in general.
You need to really scout it right away, like as soon as the second Stargate and the Fleet Beacon go down, or else there's no way you get the second Starport out fast enough. So you'll just die if you try to go Vikings.
And Hydra next, because he came through 3-2 against Happy in a very big game. Similar kind of way to you. Maybe Hydra looks at that and thinks, oh, I should really have 3-0'd that. We'll find out from that afterwards. But he's come through, so you now have to play him. What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't really practiced PvZ at all, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it, I guess.
Easy game. It's just Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Hydra.
Can't really win PvZ, but I'll try.
No, enough of that.
Well,
We want some more of that USA chance in the Twitch chat. You've got to
Yeah.
keep with the memes, Neeb.
Yeah, sure.
And besides, my girlfriend is also cheering for you, which should mean all the world to you right now. No, okay, fine. I thought that was going to help, but it might have depressed him even further. I'm not sure, but we'll see how he gets on tomorrow because he will be in the round of 16. Now let's head back to the desk for some final thoughts. Sean?
I'm here, don't worry. Yeah, final thoughts. It's like I would have gone anywhere else. Here with In Control and, of course, the boys still, Maynard and Muslim. Again, a very honest interview. I think these StarCraft players are very honest.
Well, I've talked about this and brought it up and joked about it, obviously, over the years, but it's actually been explained that, you know, I've been like, Greg, Idra, why, you know, you just won $25,000. Why do you look like you're sad? And he explained, and a lot of guys have backed this up, that StarCraft is such a mentally exhausting game. Playing a best of 5 in that booth for $6,000 after traveling across the world is actually very exhausting. So then to go and do an interview and sit on a couch is actually so I mean I personally give them a lot of crap, but that's the defense guys. That's what's going on. They're like, he is thrilled. He is excited, but he's not going to show any emotion for a few hours because he's dead inside. It's tiring.
But a guy who would have picked up a bit of energy once again now, who's had a bit of time to rest before his interview, is Hydra, who took down Happy 3-2 in a close series that we watched it, and it looked like it really could have gone either way. The last map, funny enough, was Central Protocol, of all maps to be ended on. But you watched the games, Ben. It was fun to watch.
They were good games, and everybody looked at this matchup as one of the ones that's like two titans against each other in the first round. You know, you saw Showtime, Nurture, you didn't know where it was going to go. And this one as well, people have been picking Hydra as a true favorite, but Happy is no slouch in Legacy of the Void for sure. And the fact that it went to the final game, and it was still pretty darn close, yeah, really, really heartbreaking for Happy. But Hydra, he's got to be looking forward at this tournament, as every opponent from now on after Happy has to be quite easy in comparison.
You think so?
Well,
Neeb next?
Well, the fact that you go up against Happy and you know that it could potentially be an hour-long game just because it's Happy, it's quite a hurdle to jump. But I guess the fact that he lost to Neeb recently 2-3 is also kind of scary. But it's Hydra.
It's Hydra.
Yeah.
Well, it's Hydra.
I want to hear how scary, because he's one of the cool guys that will tell you flat out, he's like, no, I'm the best. I'm going to win.
He probably will, and I'm sure he will. Let's contact Red Eye again. Ring, Red Eye, are you there?
Hello,
Good to know you're still there.
Ground control to Major Tom. Hello.
Funny fact though, Hydra's game against Happy was actually a faster series than the one we just saw with.
It was
incredible.
It was. In spite of the fact he went 5 games. Let's find out from the man himself, because he has joined us over in Pro Corner. Hydra, congratulations on your win. Did you agree with the panel when you looked at the draw and you got Happy and you thought, oh, that's going to be hard. It's going to be 5 maps. Did you prepare for that?
Yeah, I actually thought it was gonna be a tough match, but it was way tougher than what I expected.
Really? So it was even tougher than you thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk us through that final map, because Ben was watching. It was a bit kind of could have gone either way a little bit. Were you in control? Were you happy with it, or were you thinking, oh, I might lose this?
I thought I lost the game when I lost my third to Helvet. So after that, I was really focusing to come back in game. That worked out for me very well.
So what do you think about your chances in general now that you've made it past Happy? You've got Neeb up next. What do you think about him, and what do you think about your chances for the tournament?
I think the next round versus Neeb is gonna be the hardest series in this tournament, I think.
You think it's going to be harder than the Happy game? Because Ben sort of felt like maybe you beat Happy and then maybe the games are easier.
I hope not, but yeah, Neeb is a very good player, so yeah, it's gonna be tough as well.
Okay, well done. Congratulations on your
Thank
win.
you.
We'll see you in the round of 16. Good to speak to Hydra as always, and he will return in the round of 16. You won't be able to see him tomorrow because it'll be the day after, but that is it from today. We will head back to the desk, of course, and find out their final thoughts on day 1 of a very exciting tournament.
Yeah, thank you very much, Red Eye. Always good to hear from Hydra, of course, a former WCS champion of 2015. Joined back on the desk one more time for the last time to wrap up the day. We've had a fun day, 7 best of 5s overall. We can take a quick look at the bracket as well for you guys at home just tuning in. It's been a great day. We have not completed the round of 32 yet. I think we've already broadcasted for 12 hours. There will be 2 games tomorrow morning to open up the day, and it will of course be the bottom 2 games you can see down there. We'll be covering everything on the main stream from now on, so it will all be on this stream from here on, which is going to be awesome to see. We'll be opening up the day.
Yeah, gotta send love to Base Trade for covering the other streams.
Yeah, they did help us and assisted us, so thank you very much to Base Trade TV. But it is all now focused on this main channel as we continue through. So tomorrow we'll be going in and finishing the round of 32 up with those 2 games, and then entering the round of 16. We'll be completing it tomorrow, but we'll be getting a lot of it done before we go to the cinema stage on Friday. So that's a nice little auditorium, 600 seats, and we're hoping to have a lot of fun in there. Highlights of today, though. Let's start with you in control.
Well, I mean, I think an easy one for me is going to be your outfit and your shirt.
Thank you.
I think as Jet Li's interracial son, I love it. I want to hear from the people on Twitter.
That reference.
That was.
I love Rotterdam's reaction to
Some
you.
did.
Rotterdam's reaction was a highlight.
Tweet at Apollo and let him know if he should wear the same outfit tomorrow or change it up.
It's been a long day.
Do
You
you have
probably
like
shouldn't wear that shit tomorrow.
Do you have a kimono perhaps to bust out tomorrow?
I have something else tomorrow, which you'll find out tomorrow on stream. You'll see.
Unless enough people say wear this again. Can you say
That's
that?
not going to happen.
Really?
No.
All right.
I
well,
brought 4 shirts with me, and I'm going to wear all
tweet
4.
at them anyways.
Maynard highlights today.
It was a 3-0, but I actually quite enjoyed the Marine Law game today, and that was probably my highlight. Just I wanted to see how good he is now, since not really seeing him play since Nation Wars. Personally, he's outside of my time zone, and he is incredible, and my pick for a top 4 at least. So I was very happy to see that he's very much in form.
Would you say that is not nothing then?
It's definitely not nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
more than nothing. Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of people that echo what you think there, and I'm sure Demoslim is one of them. Well, actually,
you're not sure.
He's not one of them, is he? Because he said Marine Lord wouldn't do too well.
I thought he was going to do well, but
you
I
were the
thought
only
he'd lose against
doubter.
Major. But Major got knocked out now, so yeah.
Never mind about that. What did you enjoy today, Demoslim, before we close this up?
I actually liked the, and it's kind of sad in a way, and I feel kind of sadistic about it, but I liked the Haas against Bunny. Purely because it just shows how cutthroat this tournament is, and also like showing true heartbreak at just seeing $6,000 slip between your fingers because of Haas, like cheesing the absolute.
Can I also say, and this is what is happening, I'm going to put words in Ben's mouth, but I've been there before too. Pro gamers like seeing their fellow racial players lose. They like I liked watching other Protoss lose. You like watching other Terrans lose.
I especially like it against the most gimmicky stuff that's available. You know, it's like,
oh, this one sucks. He's gonna be mad. Yeah, I know.
Ben's like, he's got me. He's got me. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We've had a lot of fun today. Of course, a big shout out to Red Eye joining us again, and also the other commentators. And of course, more importantly, did you like that, Jeff?
Shout out to Red Eye and the other people.
It's mainly all about Red Eye.
Too. And of course, thescoreesports.com and plays.tv, where you can find and see all highlights of our action here and across other games as well. That's us done here for day 1. We'll be back tomorrow to continue the round of 32 and get into the round of 16.
In 9 hours.